For those of you who know me well, you know I'm a huge Disney parks fan. Every single one in the US is a top 20 park I've been to, and my favorite park anywhere is also a Disney park. In this video, we are going to cover a topic that not too many people have made legitimate videos out of, and that is ranking the 6 Disney parks in the United States. Obviously, there are still 2 Disney parks in Paris, France, there's 2 in Tokyo, Japan, 1 in Shanghai, China, and 1 in Hong Kong. And while I do look forward to checking them all out at some point, I have been fortunate enough to have been to all 6 Disney parks in my home country. Divided by the resorts, there's Walt Disney World with Magic Kingdom, Animal Kingdom, Hollywood Studios, and Epcot in Orlando, Florida. Here in California, there's 2 right beside each other, being Disneyland and Disney's California Adventure. As I've said, I love all these parks a lot, and ranking them have proved to be a very difficult task, but I'm willing to take on the challenge for you guys in this video. For that alone, I'd really appreciate it if you could drop a like on the video and subscribe to the channel and voice your support. But alright, enough of that. These are the top 6 US Disney parks ranked from worst to best. Number 6, Epcot. The lowest ranked park on this list is still better than 99% of all other parks out there. While Epcot may be lagging behind the other parks at the Walt Disney World Resort, particularly in terms of ride lineup, that's all I can really knock them for. Even then, however, I absolutely loved Test Track, Soarin' Around the World was great too, Frozen Ever After is pretty fun, and Figment is the weirdest piece of shit I've ever ridden. Spaceship Earth is also a classic, though I do look forward to its renovation because parts of it do seem to be outdated. Along with that, all of Future World is undergoing renovation, so that whole section was filled with construction walls and it really wasn't pretty, so that could have also knocked Epcot down a little bit on this list. I will say, World Showcase more than makes up for this. I didn't get to explore a lot of it, but it's an unbelievable idea that they have here. The concept of getting a glimpse into other countries and cultures was a genius move for a land, and so checking out the area is something I'd strongly encourage you to do. Additionally, Epcot has some of the best food offerings in the entire resort. I'd personally recommend Sunshine Seasons. It looks like it would be basic park food at first, but then you try it and your mind is just blown. Now, the last thing I want to point out is that Epcot is undergoing a lot of future development. Obviously, I touched on the Future World refurbishment, but they also just opened Ratatouille, which looks amazing, and will debut their first roller coaster in 2022 with Guardians of the Galaxy Cosmic Rewind. So I definitely keep your eye on Epcot. They seem to have a really bright future, but as it sits right now, I couldn't find it in me to put them any higher than the bottom spot. Number 5, Disney's California Adventure. Heading on over to California, we've got our first park from the Disneyland Resort, and this is a seriously impressive second gate. Considering the history of this park, and considering it had a pretty rough start at the beginning, it's amazing how Disney has turned it around. They have invested so much time and money into this place, making it really great, and from what I can gather, it's been more than worth it. What I will say is, I'm not gonna lie, the atmosphere of Disney's California Adventure and even some of the individual lands seem to be a bit less quality oriented than what you can find at the other Disney parks. Obviously, I can't really say this about Cars Land, Avengers Campus, and Grizzly Peak. Those are all amazing, but the rest of the park really won't blow you away. Now, what definitely will blow you away is the ride lineup here. There doesn't seem to be a clear #1 ride in the park, but they've got a multitude of high quality attractions to battle it out. One of them is Radiator Springs Racers, which is the anchor of the incredibly otherworldly Cars Land. Another is Guardians of the Galaxy Mission Breakout, one of the best drop towers anywhere in the world if you even want to call it that. A personal favorite of mine also includes Soarin' Around the World, which is the same that you could find over at Epcot in Florida. Some other highlights: Incredicoaster is loads of fun, Grizzly River Run is an S-tier rapids ride, and Web Slingers is low-key one of the most underappreciated rides in the resort, even though it's new. So the only reason California Adventure doesn't rank higher on the list is because the atmosphere at the following 4 parks are just unmatched by basically any other park in the world. I still love this place to death though, and I'm happy to say it's one of my home parks living in San Diego, California. Number 4, Magic Kingdom. Not too long ago, I would have had California Adventure ranked ahead of this park, but after giving it some thought, I just really loved my experience at Magic Kingdom. I know it isn't the most popular amongst coaster enthusiasts, but come on, this is the most legendary Disney park in Florida, and the one that I would recommend everyone go to if they could only pick one of their parks. As you can faintly see, that is not because it's my favorite in the resort, but because it really encompasses what Disney parks are all about. The atmosphere is legitimately world-class, the themed sections are astonishing, the food is awesome, and the rides are great, although they could use a few more modern attractions. My personal favorites from the ride category include Pirates of the Caribbean, Haunted Mansion, Space Mountain, Splash Mountain, and Carousel of Progress, and I'm also sure Tron will have something to say when that opens at the park next year. So that's my take on Disney World's Castle Park. Guys, even if you hate to admit it, you love this place, I love this place, your grandmother loves this place, and that's just how Magic Kingdom rolls. Number 3, Disney's Hollywood Studios. In terms of the park itself, excluding all the rides and Galaxy's Edge, this would probably rank at the bottom of the list. But what really makes Hollywood Studios worthwhile are all the incredible rides. I can't think of any other Disney park in Florida that has more e-ticket attractions than this one. For starters, this place has Star Wars Rise of the Resistance, which is freaking amazing. That is arguably the best individual ride on our entire planet. Surrounding Rise of the Resistance is the entire Galaxy's Edge section, which will absolutely blow you away. I swear to you guys, it really does feel like you step into another world, more so than any of the lands at any of the other Disney parks, except for maybe one that I can think of. My top recommendations for things to do in this land, obviously excluding Rise of the Resistance, would be drinking blue milk and getting a ride on Smuggler's Run in the pilot position. Those two experiences go together like peas in a pod, I'm telling you. Away from Galaxy's Edge, Mickey and Minnie's Runaway Railway and Tower of Terror are absolutely outstanding. The former attraction feels like a total acid trip, and the latter remains in its OG form, aka the superior version of the ride. Some other noteworthy attractions include Star Tours, The Adventures Continue, Rock and Roller Coaster's Fun, Slinky Dog Dash, and much more. Disney, as of recent, has done an incredible job making this park grow, and it's very evident when you take a visit. Disney's Hollywood Studios is an absolute must-do on a theme park trip in Florida. Number 2, Disney's Animal Kingdom. At last, we've made it to what is my favorite Disney park in Florida by a pretty long shot. Funny enough, this was the park I spent the least amount of time in, but 5 hours was still plenty enough of time for my mind to just be blown. There is so much to talk about here to where I struggle to even begin, but one specific thing about this park that will leave you shocked out of proportions is none other than Pandora, the World of Avatar. As of now, this is my favorite individual section of any theme park, yes, above Galaxy's Edge, and yes, above Hogsmeade over at the Universal Parks. Never in my life have I felt more immersed in a land than I did here, and the same can absolutely be said about the area's 2 attractions also. Both Avatar Flight of Passage and Na'vi River Journey are 2 rides that I consider to be e-tickets, but talking about the former a bit more, Flight of Passage is one of the most amazing rides anywhere on Earth. If not Rise of the Resistance, I can almost guarantee that this will be the most unreal attraction you experience in the entire resort. Stepping aside from Pandora, the Asia section is also wonderful, as is the anchoring attraction of the land being Expedition Everest. Let's also not forget to include the park's gorgeous centerpiece being the Tree of Life. That is just beautiful. One last thing I have to mention is that this is one of the most beautiful parks maybe in the entire world. None of it seems artificial, and it feels so incredibly different than the other Disney parks. So it hasn't even been more than 3 months since I've been here, and I'm already itching to get back to this amazing place. Once again, Animal Kingdom is, by a significantly long shot, my favorite park in the Disney World Resort. Number 1, Disneyland. The park that started it all and the one that encompasses Walt Disney's vision better than any other. Something about Disneyland just feels different. They say it's the most magical place on Earth, and when I was younger I thought that was bullshit, but I mean, come on, we all did. But here I am telling you guys as a hardcore Disney Parks fan that you will feel every bit of that magic advertised at Disneyland. More so than Magic Kingdom, more so than any other Disney parks, you feel like you're really stepping into Walt Disney's imagination. Divided by numerous lands, mostly of the same themes that you'll find at the Castle Park in Florida, these are all elaborately themed and incredibly well taken care of. Best of all, they each have their own noteworthy attractions, and that also includes Star Wars Galaxy's Edge. It is the exact same land that exists over at Hollywood Studios with a couple minor differences. Yes, this includes Rise of the Resistance, yes, it includes Smuggler's Run, yes, it includes Blue Milk, yes, everything is here. Now before we touch on the rides, let me just say that Disneyland knows how to handle crowds. The capacity and operations on virtually all the rides here are on another level compared to other parks. If you end up waiting 45 minutes for a dark ride or a roller coaster, my money's on the wait time being over-advertised and the fact that you'll never stop moving in that line. Additionally, you've got your typically awesome Disney park food and characteristic atmosphere, but what makes this park rise above the rest more so than anything else is the rides. I am a firm believer that Disneyland in itself might have the best collection of rides anywhere in the world. I've mentioned Star Wars Rise of the Resistance, which again is arguably the most immersive ride on Earth, and Smuggler's Run is amazing too. But that's not even the tip of the iceberg with this park's ride collection. You've also got numerous other e-ticket attractions like Indiana Jones Adventure, Pirates of the Caribbean, Space Mountain, Splash Mountain, Haunted Mansion, Matterhorn, and the list carries on. By the way, all these rides that you can find at Magic Kingdom too, these are the best versions of these rides. And it doesn't end there. For a secondhand lineup, look no further than Fantasyland with Mr. Toad, Snow White, Pinocchio's Daring Journey, Peter Pan, Alice in Wonderland. These are all awesome classic rides. And some more extras, Thunder Mountain's fun, Roger Rabbit is underrated, Winnie the Pooh is a sleeper hit, and soon to be coming, the Mickey and Minnie's Runaway Railway ride from Hollywood Studios is going to be awesome. So I'm telling you guys, the sheer quality and quantity of the rides I just mentioned should say a thing or two about how unreal the park is in itself. For me personally, the things I've mentioned above are what makes this park my favorite anywhere in the world, and for that I can't help but recommend this place to any of you who are even remotely interested into theme parks. Disneyland is a magical place that is unlike anywhere else in the world. Alright guys, after a lot of dilly-dallying, we've made it to the end of the ranking all the Disney parks in the US list. Putting this together and writing the script for all these made for hefty efforts, so I invite you guys to voice your support by liking and subscribing to the channel. As always, I'd love to hear your comments down below on how you'd rank the Disney parks of America and what you think about them overall. With that being said, I applaud you all for making it to the end of the video. Thank you all so much for watching, and I'll see you in the next one. Bye guys.